Therapy, oh, we're already up to therapeutics already. Here's what we want to think about. This is the way, it's more important for me than for me to give you a formula, is to learn the things to think about. Okay? And one of the things to think about is complete elimination of the antigen. Right? And then you'll get some healing. Will start to happen. You want to normalize the digestion using herbs. Now, I figure every herbalist ought to be an herbal gastroenterologist, right? You know how to use bitters and carminatives and demulcents and tummy teas and all of that. So you need to do all of that, okay? Number two, this is three, the thing you wouldn't normally think about, what do we use to heal wounds on the skin? What are some of our best herbs for sunburn? What are our, right, for wound healing? Yeah, aloe, calendula, plantain, right? Any more? There's probably some more. Plantain is a remarkable anti-inflammatory wound healing herb fighting infection. So what we don't realize it, but the tube is like a skin, right? Where the tube that's running through us is other, right? So this dawned on me at one point, well, what's good for this skin ought to be good for that skin in there. So when we see that abdominal bloating, we take that as proof of leaky gut, right? And we say, we need to heal the gut, okay? We need to heal that the same way we would need to heal a sunburn or heal lesions on the skin out here. So these, which we usually think of them as topical herbs, they go in the gut formula. Or, actually, another slide, but I'll say powdered calendula plantain in aloe juice, or powdered calendula and plantain stirred into applesauce, fresh applesauce, and then you have the pectin in the apple, which is also can also help wound that. Things like that. You want to deliver wound healing herbs to that torn up gut. You've seen pictures of that torn up gut. It's going to be torn up whether it's celiac or dairy or egg or whatever it is. Anyway, we're talking about extra-intestinal manifestations of food intolerance, celiac disease and food intolerance. And this is, you'll see people, they're sort of fighting it off. They're having neurological problems, they're having migraines, they're having whatever, and they don't quite get better. Your target there isn't the extra-intestinal manifestation. Your target there is the gut lining. It's the gut lining. That's the front line of your battle. And so you want to give nutrition, herbs, whatever you need, all the building blocks that needs to rebuild the gut lining. And you do that and you'll see the systemic things improve or go away when you do that. That's your fight, okay? The other thing you wouldn't have normally thought of until you saw those pictures of the lymphatic bloating is lymphatic herbs, right? What about red root, cleavers, you know, different things. What would you give if somebody had lymphadenopathy in their neck or in their armpits and they'd had a good diagnosis and you know they didn't have cancer or AIDS, right? What would you do for lymphadenopathy? We have our lymphatic herbs. And you want to think of those. Well, now we understand the gut is a modified lymph node. We want to be thinking about immunomodulating herbs and lymphatic herbs if you're helping somebody recover from celiac, okay? Optimize vitamin D. Optimize protein. And specifically, there's an amino acid in protein called glutamic acid. You can get like glutamine supplements. I'm not real big on taking glutamine supplements. Some of the weight bodybuilders like to take glutamine, and it's the most common amino acid, and it's necessary for fast regenerating tissues. The other thing here is nucleotides. This is your DNA, right? DNA and related. It has these 4 building blocks in there. They're nucleotides that make like the rungs on the ladder on the DNA spiral helix. And we can make those, right? We can make those, except there's this specialized thing the gut can do. These gut cells, do you know how long one of those gut cells lasts? 4 or 5 days. 4 days. I think in the stomach it's 4, and in the colon it's 5. And in the intestine it's 4.5. Right? In other words, that's 1% per hour. That's 25% per day of that gut lining. Those brush border cells are dying and being replaced. Right? It's constant turnover. It's the most fast reproducing cells in the body, much faster than the liver. That's like 4 or 5 times faster than liver cells, which have pretty fast turnover. Can you imagine the nutrition that needs to be constantly building new cells? So we can go back to our anthropology. This is pretty much all over the world. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors for millions of years ate about 2 pounds of meat a day. Right? And what that means is, I'm not advocating you eat 2 pounds of meat, but what that means is they had abundant, robustly abundant amino acids there in the intestinal tract. If not every day, periodically. You know, the 4 hunters killed an elk. Somebody saw this 4 hunters, traditional hunters killed an elk and sat there and ate it over 3 days and walked away. They ate the whole elk, right? So, and anyway, all the nucleotides that are in there, right? All the DNA and everything that's in that meat, right, is also present and bioavailable to these cells that are fast reproducing at the surface. So the reason I'm mentioning it, you'll see scientific studies where people have had gut injury and they'll give nucleotide supplementation, right? And you'll also see where they give glutamine nutrition. And this has very well been proved. People have gastrointestinal injury, like after surgery or something like that. They'll give glutamine supplement and it speeds healing time.